50 years since 1967, we've seen that comparison. I was thinking about the future generations, like my son. '67 was the first year. Mustang came out in 64 and a half, but they caught Chevrolet flat-footed, so they weren't ready, so it took them a couple years to come up with the answer, which was the Camaro and the Firebird. Anyway, 1967. The first generation, the very first couple years of Mustangs, you had a 289 V8 and then a 390 V8 option. All right. Then in Camaro, you had a 327, a 350, and then a 396. Those were the only engine options. Now, there were different tunes, hopped up versions versus non-hopped up versions, but those were your engine options. These right here, the reason why we're talking about this is it got me thinking about my son. These are 4-cylinders, if you couldn't tell by the exhaust of that Camaro right there. And if electric cars are starting to gain traction and more electric cars are being sold and we're leaning more, governments are leaning more towards that for clean air. And let's not get into that discussion. That's a whole nother conversation. But my son, this may be like, oh, that's the big Camaro. That's the gas Camaro. That's the fast one. Or that's the rare one. I mean, because the EVs, if you've never been in an electric car, you should go for a ride right out of the hole. They're quick. They give it all right then. Torque on full demand. Combustion engines, we got to build it up. No. Battery powered, it's right there on tap. So it got me thinking. One day, kids these are the big cars. Is that altogether a bad thing? 275 horsepower in that 4-cylinder Camaro. 315 horsepower in that 4-cylinder Mustang. Let's talk about 0 to 60 in that 390 cubic inch 1967 Mustang. 7.3 seconds. That Mustang EcoBoost is 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds. 5.0 seconds, 4.9 even on some publications. Camaros, let's talk about 0 to 60 in that 396 Camaro. 0 to 60, 6.5 seconds. Let's talk about that 2.0 engine, 2-liter engine, 2.0, 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo engine there by Chevrolet, 5.5 seconds. The Camaro's on the shelf now. V8s are almost on the shelf. 4-cylinder turbos are the big blocks. Have a hobbly.